All right, here we are. Welcome to the first episode of the QB1 Podcast. Great to do this. I am Liam Tumminello, football fan enthusiast, almost player, and here we got Q1 quarterback Jonah O'Brien. So, Jonah, before I got a video for you to react to, but first, you can let the audience know a little bit about your football experience and journey and how we got here, obviously with the concussions and everything, and just kind of explain that.
High school, I chose Eastern Illinois. Last game, the starter broke his collarbone, so I played in that last game. Played pretty well for a freshman, not really knowing anything. And then I got my first concussion in that game, so I missed the last game. And then the coaching staff told me that I earned a scholarship. And then we went back for player exit meetings back in January, and they told me I didn't earn it yet. And, I never have a problem earning anything. I've always worked for everything. But if you tell me something different, that kind of pissed me off. So, I decided to transfer and go to Colorado State. It was a bigger level, and, I thought I could just take a chance on myself. So went there, loved it, loved the experience, loved everything. I'd never played, but nonetheless, I loved everything about it and learned a lot of valuable things. And then after my 2 years there, I went back to Eastern, became the starting quarterback in 2022. And then I in the eighth game of that year, got my second concussion, which ended my season. So I wasn't very good. And then in 2023, quarterback job, tight competition. And then I transferred this past year to Alabama State just for my last year, just to give it a last go around. And it's very long. Went there in the first game, won the starting quarterback job, and then got my last concussion there. And that really ended my career right there. So, yeah, here we are now.
Did you have another year of eligibility if you wanted it because you got hurt in the first game? I think first quarter too.
Yeah, I think I could have applied for like a medical hardship, but
Yeah,
I mean,
probably would have got it. But yeah, no.
yeah, no, I
Right.
mean, if I like broke my arm or like my leg or something, I probably would have taken it, but I just didn't want to mess with my head.
Yeah, concussions. Yeah, you don't really want to fuck with that. It doesn't matter how many times you break your leg, that'll be relatively okay. Yeah, you can't hurting your head. You don't want to do that enough times. So that makes sense. But I'll have you. Obviously, I'm sure you've seen the clip, and obviously you lived it as well. So if you want to just, you know what I'm talking about. If you want to just react to the clip, little tough to see, but you know what it is. You can just walk me through it. It's your concussion.
Oh yeah. Um, so bad by me. I threw a pick on play. It was a pick six. Bad play by me, but yeah, I'm kind of trying to chase down and tackle the other guy, and these guys kind of corralled me and kind of take a little cheap shot at me. But I mean, that's football. You gotta try to take out the quarterback. So I'm not really. It's football at the end of the day, so I'm not too mad about it. All of my concussions have come off like cheap shots and targeting penalties, so it's kind of
Was
crazy.
there a penalty for that on that play after the
Yeah,
pick?
there were two personal fouls against me in that game. The very last play of the game, and then that play too. Well, I don't even remember the second one, but I watched like the replay and everything. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't realize that happened. But
So you said that's enough playing. We've tried that. We've done that. We've had, a good fun career. Well,
mhm.
we'll do some safer stuff. And here we are with the podcast. Want to get into the media or side or, just have some fun doing this a little bit. Packers just played yesterday. Um, we are 9-3 now, I believe. We just smacked the Dolphins. They cannot beat the cold weather allegations, or how hard they try. They
Never.
bring in 3,500 pounds of warm gear or whatever to come play, and that does not matter. They kind of came back at the end a little bit, but it was obviously way too late, 30-17. Packers kind of picking up steam. We beat an injured 49ers team, killed them, but 9-3, we're still sitting pretty good somehow, unfortunately third in the division, but how far do you think we can get now? And are we seeing the second year straight of J-Lo's winter arc?
I mean, I think so. I think who do they got left? They got the Lions, Seahawks, Saints, and Vikings and Bears. They got them left. I honestly, I think they lose to the Lions, and then I
We
think they
did beat
win it.
them last year, Thanksgiving at their place. So
That
yeah,
is
might lose, but we have a small chance at that. But I'm fair giving that a loss.
the game in Detroit, or is that in Lambeau?
It's in Detroit.
Okay. I mean, I think they wiped the Seahawks, Saints, Vikings, and the Bears out because they suck. But I
Yeah,
mean, I think they're going to end up with 4 losses, and what would that be? 14 wins,
13-4, 13-4,
13-4.
13-4. Probably, unfortunately, going to be the fifth seed,
Yeah,
unless the Vikings. Yeah, if we beat the Vikings, should be the fifth seed.
that's kind of how
Might
we
be the
were last
best fifth
year.
seed in NFL history.
Yeah. I mean, you see what we did last year. I mean, we made a pretty good run, and no
Yeah, I
really
don't that
expected.
I'm good. Like with J-Lo Packers compared to Aaron's. I know with Aaron's we really needed home field advantage, even though
Yeah.
when they did win the Super Bowl early on, it was a road wild card run. But we definitely needed the home field advantage with Aaron Rodgers, even though sometimes it didn't even work. But it does honestly, it doesn't really matter with Jordan Love. I don't care if we're home away. I don't think it makes much of a difference.
Yeah. It's ball at the end of the day. I think he's really good so far.
Mhm.
He's probably throwing picks than he'd like to, but
Yeah,
that's
cleaned
ball
that
so
up the last
far.
couple weeks. I think he has one pick his last three games.
Yeah.
One pick, 4 or 5 touchdowns. So
Yeah. This is time
yeah, he's coming
you want
alive.
to get odds. Yeah, it's perfect.
Sometimes watching him play, like he'll like yesterday, he played so safe, and then he had some deep ball to Christian Watson that it was incomplete. Should have been pass interference, but it wasn't. But every time I watch him just throw it deep like that, I'm like, oh no, oh God, I'm like, please no.
Like, oh shit.
But it worked out. And then honestly, the best team in the league, I'd say, is the Lions. But the Chiefs are also 11-1. But they might be like the worst 11-1 team in NFL history. They have
Yeah.
6 games were 5 points or less that they won, or they won by six one time in overtime versus the Bucks. But they are just barely beating every team they play. Good teams, bad teams, they're barely winning. Honestly, I think they were favored to lose at one point live during every single game they played in this year, and they nearly choked to the Raiders today, and they nearly choked to the Panthers last week. Two of the worst teams in football. So Patrick Mahomes' QBR is pretty good. They have him at seventh. It's 61.6 last I checked. So the stats like him, but what's wrong with the Chiefs?
I mean, definitely something's off, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they're good, bad, or ugly, man. They're winning. They're 11-1. I mean, I don't know who's gonna stop them, to be honest. I think they're going to go back to Super Bowl. I would think. I mean, I don't think Patrick Mahomes having the year that he probably thought he would have.
No, he's got
I
18
don't think.
picks, 11 touch. Or I'm sorry, 18 touchdowns, 11 picks.
Yeah, I mean, for his standard, I mean that's pretty shitty,
Yeah, 12
probably.
games in, that's like
Yeah,
1.5 touchdowns a game.
no, it's definitely not a phenomenal year for him. But I mean, I don't know. You can't argue with 11-1 record, and
I think some team from the NFC is winning the Super Bowl this year.
yeah,
I don't see
I
them,
would agree.
and I don't definitely there could be 5 teams in the NFC that win it. I only see like possibly two in the AFC winning it.
Who do you see from the AFC? Kansas City. Who else?
I see Kansas City and the Bills, believe it or not. I think the Ravens, until Lamar Jackson proves otherwise, they can't really get it done. Like he had a good game last year, then sucked
Yeah,
against the Chiefs when they were favored. So until he does it, I'm not giving it to him.
no, I would agree. You know who's having a hell of a year? Who doesn't get talked about enough? Baker
Who's that?
freaking Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
No, nobody talks
I
about it.
love
He's got the
him.
most
He had a
touchdown
great
passes.
year last year. The record's a little mid so far this year, but he's just throwing touchdowns and balling.
It's
That's
crazy.
such a
I saw
great
something today.
transition.
I think he's thrown like 52 touchdowns since like the beginning of last year, and that's like the most in the
Yeah,
NFL so far. So I mean, that's nobody gives them enough credit. And
no,
my guy, so I gotta give him a little shout
no.
out.
I love the Baker Mayfield resurgence and Sam Darnold resurgence. Everyone,
Yeah,
a lot of older busts coming alive again. So
yeah.
you gotta love to see that. What do you make of the Bears game yesterday? That was some of the most disgusting turned great football I've ever seen.
Liam, I loved it. I loved it because I hate the Bears with every ounce in my body. I hate them. And yeah, no, I mean, Yeah, I mean, if I was a Bears fan, I would be so freaking frustrated and just ready to give up on everything because
I saw
it.
they finally fired Matt Eberflus. I saw it was wild. He has got to be the most arrogant bastard I've seen in my life. He said after the game that he thought he made the right decision. He didn't have any problem with
Yeah,
how the game ended. And then he also said he sees himself coaching in San Francisco this next week, and he fully sees himself being the coach this next week. And then he got fired hours later.
yeah,
Obviously, everyone saw that coming, but I know you're not going to say I'm going to be fired, but just to come out and say like, no, I'm going to be fine. I didn't have any problem with what I did. We have no adjustments to make. Like that is some of the most wild thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, I'm not going to blame it all on him that last drive. I'm not going to blame it all on him. I'm going to put a little blame on Caleb Williams, but you got a rookie quarterback. Like you gotta be a little freaking smarter than that. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't,
I didn't have
you
any
can't take a
problem
sack. Caleb can't
with
take a
what
sack.
Taylor. I mean, 95% Matt Eberflus, but how many assistant coaches and everyone do they have on the team? Like I'm sure they specifically have like a timeout and game management coach. I know they do. I know that was
Yeah,
an issue with the Broncos a couple years ago too.
yeah.
And
I
you
mean,
don't have anyone saying call a timeout or do this, spike it, do something. It was third down, so they could have spiked it, kicked a field goal. You didn't even need the timeout, just do something.
literally do anything else than
Yeah,
what they did.
the
Don't
worst possible
throw it
outcome
up.
happened.
I mean, I was watching that, and I mean, Caleb had no urgency at all. It kind of looked like
No,
he just kind of standing there.
he could have just snapped it, threw it away, done anything. So I with where they are in the season, I don't mind Caleb not doing that. You might as well tank for a better pick. If they had a winning record or they're in the playoff line, I would probably solely put that on him too. But I don't. It
Yeah,
doesn't even matter at this point for the Bears. They cannot recover after the Washington Hail Mary.
no, no, they suck, and I
They
hope
just
they
they
suck.
are literally inventing new ways to lose this year. The most wild losses have come in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
It's kind of crazy, but I love it.
Hail Mary, blocked field goal,
The 2 minute.
30 seconds doing nothing but throwing a Hail Mary with no
Yeah.
time left. I have
I mean,
no
it's just
idea.
classic Bears losing. It's classic. It's classic. It's like
They
my favorite.
cannot beat the curse.
No, it's horrible.
What is going on with the Jets? What is wrong with them and Aaron Rodgers and more specifically him? And should he just hang it up at this point?
I don't know. I mean, I love Aaron, but
I do too.
he's I don't know. I have no idea what's wrong with them. I mean, their defense is phenomenal and everything.
Mhm.
On paper they should be a really good freaking team, but some of this is not clicking. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably a combination of just everything. I mean, but I still think he can play. I
We
still
can,
think he
yeah,
can
you
play.
can definitely play. It's just, I don't think he wants to play that badly. He wants the fame and notoriety that comes with playing, but at this point in his career, he just doesn't care that much to like show up
One thing.
early. Not for himself, but showing up early for everyone else and making sure they're good, because that's your job as the quarterback too. Make sure everyone else is good. But as long as he's right on the X's and O's, like when he was talking about Mike Williams, I threw it down the red line and he wasn't there. Mike Williams is balling out now for the Steelers, so
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
play might have been on him, but it's just how you handle things and everything other on football's not going well for him too. But I don't think I've seen him say like a single correct thing this season. Every time I hear him talk, it's like, oh, that's you should probably shouldn't have said that.
definitely doesn't have great timing with the way he says.
No.
I think he should go to the Vikings and just complete the prophecy of Brett Favre. I think he needs to do it. I honestly, fuck it. Like, kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie,
Oh yeah.
but I would hope they suck. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he plays for the Jets next year.
No.
I don't even know if he comes back next year. I don't know.
Yeah, he's favored to retire. The Seahawks in New York this week, and the game is literally 50-50. Seahawks are favored by half a point, but I would just hammer the Seahawks. You cannot do anything Jets.
Yeah, I would definitely hammer the
I don't
Seahawks.
see the Jets winning a game this season. Winning another one.
Who else do they play?
Play the Seahawks, and they play at Miami, at the Jaguars, which they might, but who knows with that? The Jets are so bad. Then they play the Rams, Bills, and Dolphins. So I see maybe one win, maybe one.
I think they could beat the Jags.
At Jacksonville, they might, but even that's a toss up. I like after
Yeah,
losing to the Patriots, you can't give the Jets like a certified win in any game.
no. Yeah, the Rams will probably lose. Yeah, I think honestly they could go winless the rest of the year. But then I think you definitely gotta if they lose like two more games, like yeah, I'm benching Rodgers. I honestly feel bad for Jets and Bears fans because
Yes.
it's got to be pretty tough. But I mean, glad it's not the Packers though.